Meet the inew3d QC2A. This isn't just another 3D printer, it's a 4-color desktop powerhouse. We are talking 500,000 true colors, AI-powered modeling, and industrial stability, all shrunken down to fit right on your desk. Hey, what's up? Sam here. inew3d just hooked me up with an exclusive first look at the prototype. Let's dive in and see what makes it a total game changer. Alright, first let's talk about how the thing works, because this is not your typical resin printer. The QC2A uses the same YW color system along with the transparent resin and water-soluble support resin. But these materials are stored in cartridge-style containers on the left side of the machine. Instead of swapping filaments or printing in color blocks and mix color at the droplet level, the printhead microjeets tiny amounts of resin, blending pigments before they're instantly cured by UV light. That means color is formed during deposition, not painted afterward, not layered in chunks. That's how they achieve continuous gradients and over 500,000 color combinations. Technically, this is closer to DLP and LCD photopolymer resin printing. On top of the machine, there is an integrated air purification chamber. Once the printer starts working, it automatically activates, though you can also control it manually from the screen. It helps reduce resin odors, which is especially important in a home environment. The touch screen is actually very functional. You can run printhead diagnostics and even print color test patches onto an A4 sheet to check nozzle consistency. If you notice any discontinuous lines or signs of partial clogging, you can immediately run a cleaning cycle. You can also control the movement of both the printhead and build platform directly from the interface. Overall, it's very straightforward, not overloaded with manuals, just practical and clean. Now let's talk about the workflow. Software is usually the biggest barrier for beginners in 3D printing, but inew3d approaches it differently. Since this isn't a full tutorial, I want to go through every detail. Instead, let me show you what really stands out, the AI modeling feature. Under the Creator tab, you simply upload a color image you want to turn into a 3D model, or you can just enter a text prompt to generate one from scratch. The AI automatically detects the subject and converts it into a print-ready 3D file optimized for slicing. You don't need to manually sculpt or repair anything. What's impressive is that it even generates the backside of the figure based purely on the front image. And honestly, it looks surprisingly logical and natural. If you want, you can fine-tune the colors before slicing. After that, just auto-arrange multiple models on the build plate. Yes, it's a cross batch printing. Slice multiple subjects together. Within seconds, it's ready to print. Because it uses water-soluble supports and planar jetting, you don't have to constantly tweak support angles or layer parameters like traditional FDM printers. For beginners, that's huge. For studios, it saves serious time. Now let's look at the actual printing process. Here's a print that just started. As it progresses, you can clearly see the layer-by-layer color deposition happening in real time. In this example, I'm printing a transparent human anatomy model that reveals the internal organs. I'll show you the final result in a moment. I'm also printing multiple models in the same batch. Let me show you that as well. On the screen, you can monitor the progress bar and the remaining time. The feedback is detailed and easy to follow. This right here is the finished print, straight off the build plate. No post-processing yet. Honestly, it almost looks like something still wrapped in a translucent membrane. Very organic. Next comes support removal. There are two methods. One is simply placing the model in clean water and letting the supports dissolve gradually. The other is using an ultrasonic cleaner to accelerate the process. Here I tested both methods side by side. After the same amount of time, the ultrasonic cleaner removes the supports much faster, while the water bath still needs more time. Pairing with finishing techniques like matte sandblasting, high gloss coating, surface polishing, or even combining effects with transparent resin aesthetics. Either way, you're left with a fully colored model. No painting required. Now let's talk about color. 500,000 colors sounds like marketing, but what really matters is gradient smoothness and realism. Here I'm comparing 3 versions of the same model: raw single color print, hand-painted version, and the QC2A 4-color print. The difference is immediately visible. Traditional multi-color printers switch between fixed materials, so you get a segmentation. But not for the QC2A, because color is mixed at the droplet level. Transitions feel genuine smooth instead of stepped or segmented. You get real tonal depth. Shadows blend gradually, highlights don't clip harshly, and subtle color variations actually show up. Textures look more natural, especially on skin tones or organic surfaces. And the saturation feels controlled instead of very flat or artificially boosted. For figurines, product prototypes, or educational models, this changed the workflow entirely. You're not printing a base model and then spend hours painting and sealing afterward. You're printing the final object, with the color already embedded into the structure from the start. So, that's a game changer. If reliability holds up and the journey system proves stable long term, this crucial shift desktop for color printing is not just about having more colors, it's about making true full color manufacturing accessible in a machine that fits on your desk. This is still a prototype, so I'll continue stress testing it, but first impressions very promising. inew3d is new to the 3D industry. I visited the offices, the assembly area, the R&D testing labs. So here is the testing area. There are several engineers working around the clock to test each prototype to see if there are any issues. Check them out. There's clearly serious development happening behind the scenes. I'm genuinely curious to see the finalized production version. Let me know what you want me to test next. Color accuracy, durability, long-term clogging. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.